Welcome back to this week of BSPN. I'm Matt Hansen, joined alongside Eli Heacock and Joshua Rasmussen. This is a delayed episode as last week's school was pretty much canceled for the entire week. So we are going to do last week's basketball games and last week's wrestling meets along with this week's. Without further ado, let's get into the action.
The Lady Hawks faced off against Webo on a cold Friday evening. Right from the tip, the Longhorns came out to a strong start, going up 7-2, but Jacy Schaffer would hit two post fadeaways, one of them being an and one. Then Maddie Zimmer would tip a pass going right to Mia Mader, and she would bring it quickly down the court. And then Mader would find the open Zimmer for an easy two. Mader would then have a basket of her own, taking the defender baseline and laying it up. Mia made a nice pass up the court, showing off her vision to Gracie Bradley. Maggie Mader had a nice cut backdoor on the sleeping defender, and Emlyn Harper dished the ball into Maggie to finish off the nice play. Nearing the end of the game, Maddie Zimmer would ice it with a cut to the middle of the floor and a nice shot. Maddie Zimmer and Jacy Schaffer led the team in scoring, each pitching in 13. A lot of their baskets being assisted by Mia Mader, who had 7 assists. The Hawks would win this game by a score of 45-28. This was a nice win for the Lady Hawks after dropping the last 6.
On the boys' side, the Hawks started off slow in the first quarter, only leading by 3 points to end the first quarter, 11-8. Cooper Zimmer got the Hawks scoring started with a nice steal and layup shown here. Later in the first quarter, Jackson Bilbrey had a shifty Euro step into a great score. This tied things up 6 apiece. Then he had a nice layup in transition a few minutes later. Tommy Euler showed why he is a valuable asset to the team with this beautiful corner 3. Early in the second quarter, Cooper Zimmer got another steal, and this time he threw down a nasty dunk in transition. Josh Rasmussen started to get hot in this corner for 3. Eli Heacock contributed 2 with a nice floater. Later in the second quarter, Jackson Bilbrey had a nice jumper, and the Hawks were up 30-13 at this point. To start the second half, Josh Rasmussen launched a bomb and drained it, showing he is still hot from deep. Then, Josh had a nice assist to Jackson where he would finish. He had another nice 3 from Josh as he would finish the game shooting 5 for 7 from beyond the arc. Thomas Euler had a fantastic game too, finishing with a double-double with 14 points and 10 rebounds. Finally, here's a buzzer beater with Matt Hansen with a little zest to it. The Hawks flew away with the win 71-37.
Boys wrestling spent Thursday night in Forsyth at the Matador Mixer, then went to Miles City Friday and Saturday for the Cowboy. AJ Schoenbeck won 2 matches to pin and lost his 3rd match in Forsyth to a tech fall and attended the JV Cowboy tournament, winning 3 of his matches and lost 1. Kail Irish won 2 of his matches at the Matador Mix and lost 1. He lost both his matches at the Cowboy. Raiden RN lost 1 and won his other in Forsyth, and lost both his matches at the Cowboy. Regan Schaefer won both his matches in Forsyth and went 2-2 in the Miles City. Colin Millerall lost his only match in the Matador, and he then won a match in Miles City but lost his other. Jackson Knapp wrestled his first match in Forsyth, losing his first match to pin but won his second by forfeit. Ruben Kinzer won his only match in Forsyth and won 3 matches but lost 2 in Miles City, placing him 4th in the Cowboy. Cordell Schoenbeck lost both of his matches to pin in Forsyth and attended the JV Cowboy tournament, winning 2 matches.
The girls wrestling team went to Miles City for the 3rd annual Cowgirl Invitational night in Miles City after Thursday in Forsyth. Mason McDowell, wrestling in the 120 weight bracket, started out wrestling Maisie Fox from Miles City, then wrestling Avery Peterson from Glasgow and taking a win. Bonita Kinzer wrestled in the 138 weight bracket with 7 other opponents, going 3 and 4, placing 7th. Novalie Blakeman wrestled in the 152-pound weight bracket, lost all of her matches the first day, and didn't make weight the second day to wrestle. Aspen Krantz wrestled in the 185-pound weight bracket, going 1 and 3 to end the weekend for the girls, placing 6th against the field.
The Hawks traveled to Plevna last Friday for a conference matchup, looking to pick up a win on the road. The Hawks went on a nice run, and Josh hit a deep 3 shown here. Right after that, Josh Rasmussen made a nice and 1 layup in transition. Jackson Bilbrey got the ball on the block and made a nice fadeaway shot. Hawks are up 15-7. To start the second quarter off, Josh made Plevna pay for not guarding up and drained a deep one. Landon Cap muscled his way in for 2. Matt Hansen got out in transition with a nice pump fake for 2. Landon Cap had a beautiful drive to the basket for 2, again showing his strength is tough to match for the smaller opponent. A nice pass to Cooper in transition with a floater. Zach Jones gets some minutes and gets a nice drive to the basket for 2 points. Jackson shows why you don't want to enter his paint with a nice block. Eli Heacock had a nice behind-the-back pass to Cooper for 2. Cooper Zimmer made a filthy Euro step in transition for another 2 points. The Hawks are currently up 50-21. The Hawks would go on to win the game 62-35. Landon Cap led the Hawks with 12 points. Jackson and Cooper followed him with 10 apiece.
After the Friday game was moved to Plevna, the Hawks traveled there for a good encounter with the Cougars. Right away, the Lady Hawks kicked it off with some set plays, layups, and Plevna battled hard to keep up. The girls were looking for a good win for the conference and did just that. Maddie, Mia, and Zizan knocked down a couple of threes for the Hawks, while mostly everyone contributed with mid-range and layups. The end score of this game was 61-31, with the Lady Hawks stealing a win. Just before halftime, Maggie took the only charge of the game, while high score of this game was Jacy Schaffer. She ended the game with 16 points and 3 great blocks. Emma Isaac also contributed with 14 points, as well as Maddie Zimmer with 12 and Mia Mader with 9. These girls battled to the end, while some of the younger girls gained more experience.
The Hawks traveled to Terry, Montana last Saturday for another conference matchup. The Terriers came out with a fire and intensity that has not been seen from them in previous years, leading to a game of hustle plays and steals. The Lady Hawks started the game with a bucket off the tip, and then continued to battle back and forth with the Terriers throughout the first half. Emma Isaacs hit a buzzer beater 3, putting the Lady Hawks down 6 going into halftime. The second half, the Hawks and Terriers would stay neck to neck, battling it out in the paint, with the Lady Hawks falling to the Terriers by 2 points. The final score being 56-58. Emma Isaacs led the Lady Hawks in scoring with 18 points. Mia Mader added in a double-double with 15 points and 11 rebounds, with Maddie Zimmer adding 12 points and Jason Schaffer contributing 10.
The Broadus Hawks faced off against a young Terrier squad, starting only one player, not a freshman. But they were not to be taken lightly after a nice first quarter from the Hawks, with and ones from both Josh Rasmussen and Jackson Bilbrey, followed by a deep 3 from Thomas O'Leary. The Hawks were rolling and carried that momentum into the second quarter, going up 20-9. Then Rasmussen and Zach Jones drilled a pair of threes, further extending this lead by 26-11 midway through the second. The Hawks would only be able to manage a free throw in the final 4 minutes before half, keeping this a close game 27-18. Coming out of the half, the Hawks looked dazed and confused, which led to Terry coming out of the half on a 6-2 run, closing the gap to just 5 points. Zimmer would stop this run with a nice fadeaway J from the elbow. A barrage of free throws would be the only other points the Hawks would get from this quarter, with Landon, Matt, Thomas, and Cooper each getting some points from the charity line. To start the fourth, there was a huge momentum boost for the Hawks as Zimmer would tip a pass falling into Matt Hansen's hands, and he would go coast to coast with the Hawks' 3rd and 1 of this game. Midway through the fourth, Cap would hit a mid-range shot, essentially ending this game as it would put the Hawks up 15 with just under 4 minutes to play. The final score was Broadus 47, Terry 32. The leading scorers in this game were Cooper Zimmer with 12 and Matt Hansen with 10.
The wrestling team went to Moorcroft for the Dylan Humes Memorial Tournament. Raiden Stoddard wrestled in the 113 weight bracket, winning 2 matches and losing his other 2. Kail Irish wrestled at 132 and lost both of his matches. Raiden Arndt wrestled at 138, winning 1 match and losing 2 others. Riggin Schaefer at 160 won 3 matches and lost 2, placing him at 4th in his bracket. Colin Weatherall won a match and lost 2 others at 160. Jackson Knapp wrestled at 182, winning 1 match by forfeit, another by pin, and losing his last match to a pin, placing 2nd in his JV bracket. Ruben Kinzer won 3 matches and lost 2 in the 205 bracket, placing 4th in the tournament.
The girls wrestling team went to Moorcroft for the Dylan Humes Memorial Tournament, taking 4 girl wrestlers. Mason McDowell wrestled in the 120-pound weight class with 15 other opponents and went 4-2 for the weekend. She started out wrestling Laura Benham from Wright, taking a win, then wrestling Schwartz from Baker, taking her first loss, and going to the loser side of the bracket, making her way up to 4th place. Bonita Kinzer wrestled in the 135-pound weight class with 8 other opponents in her weight class. She went 3-1. Her first wrestling match was against Riley Knight from Wright, taking a loss, then moving to the loser's side of the bracket, winning all of her matches to take third. Novalee Blakeman wrestling in the 155-pound weight class with 12 other opponents in her bracket, took her first 2 wins in the season and went 2-2. Aspen Krantz wrestled in the 190-pound weight bracket with 4 other opponents, going 2-1, losing her first match and ending up on the loser's side to work her way up to third.
On the top rankings for the Class C boys, Scobie overtook Luster after beating them 53-43 recently, putting them atop the rankings. Luster Christian would slide down to 4th after the loss. Box Elder would become the number 2 and Manhattan Christian would become the number 3. Notably, Savage would become 8th on the list at 11-1, with their only loss being to the Broadus Hawks at the beginning of the season. Plentywood would fall to 9th at 9-1 after the loss to Savage on Tuesday night. However, previously ranked Melstone squad squeaked out a 56-54 win over unbeaten Custer Arson, which will likely drop the Rebels down the rankings from their position in 6th, as it did when Melstone lost to Broadus earlier this season. In the 4C, Broadus boys are ranked 2nd behind Jordan, who is 4-0 in conference play. These 2 teams face off this Saturday, hoping that Broadus would shake the rankings up. In related news, Josh moved into number 8 in school history for 3-pointers made. Also, Jackson Bilbrey had a perfect game, going 9 for 9 from the field against Melstone on January 6th, which is good enough for 3rd in school history for 2-point field goal percentage.
For the Lady Hawks, the girls are ranked 2nd with a 2-1 conference record behind Jordan, who is 4-0 in conference play. The girls will match up against Jordan this Saturday at home. Other news for our girls, that is our seniors moving up the scoring rankings in school history. Season is now number 7 with 627 points. Mia is number 10 with 551 points, and Emma is number 21 with 430 points. For the Class C girls ranking, Seiko Whitewater Hinsdale is the number 1 team with the record at 12-0. Twin Bridges is 2nd on the rankings at 9-1, followed by Roberts at 12-1. In boys wrestling, Kail Irish was ranked 6th in the 138-pound weight class, and Raiden Schaffer is ranked 4th in the 152-pound weight class. This was as of January 9th.
Next week's highlights will include a busy weekend for the Hawks wrestlers. They went to Miles City on Tuesday, hosted Miles City on Thursday, and then host Sydney on Friday. They head to Hardin on Saturday for a mixer. Basketball goes to Ekalaka on Friday and has a home game against Jordan on Saturday, which is a reschedule from the game that was postponed a little over a week ago. So, our Hawks athletes are going to be busy this weekend, and the best of luck to them. BSPN signing out.